chess team leaves for Zimbabwe today to compete at the 2025 Africa Youth Chess Championship. Thank you for joining us. Now the news in detail. Beneficiaries of the lean season food distribution exercise need to report any malpractice that may rise during and after the exercise. Vice President Dr. Jane Ansah gave the advice when she launched the exercise in Nalongwe and Mchinji districts. Dr. Ansah states that government expects to witness all hunger-stricken households reached with food aid to alleviate hunger. More in this report.
The launch of the Lean Season Food Response Program in Icheu is part of government's ongoing efforts to support vulnerable households with food aid, especially those facing acute hunger due to the impact of drought, floods, or rising inflation. First Vice President Justice Dr. Jane Ansah, retired, has since described the Food Relief Response Program as key towards addressing the hunger situation.
It's in line with what our President, Professor Peter Mutharika, has said, that he will not allow that anyone in Malawi should die of hunger. So those people that are at the risk of dying from starvation, those are the people we have targeted, that they should have food. That's why we are here to distribute to those needy families.
A beneficiary of the program, Fegnes Machira, described the food distribution exercise as a relief to vulnerable households, adding that the initiative will help her support her household.
The food distribution exercise will greatly help me because I take care of orphans and I end up doing piece work to support them. So this will help a lot.
Ncheu district became the 6th district to launch the food distribution exercise out of the 28 districts. Government plans to roll out the relief food distribution exercise as a way of supporting those in need of food aid. Trust Office, MBC News, Lilongwe.
In a related development, Social Cash Transfer Program beneficiaries have been advised to utilize the funds wisely to transform their livelihoods. Deputy Minister of Gender, Children, Disability and Social Welfare, Martha Nzomerangira, made the remarks in the area of Traditional Authority Chiwere in Loa, where she inspected the registration process for the program. More with Madalitso Mhango.
Government is implementing social cash transfer in several districts, including Doa, to enable ultra-poor households to move out of poverty and improve people's livelihoods. Speaking during her visit to beneficiaries of social cash transfer program in Doa, Deputy Minister of Social Welfare, Martha Nzomerangira, said she was impressed by the impact the program is having on the people in the district. Ngwila added that government will consider increasing the amount of money the beneficiaries receive to help transform their lives.
The people who have received social cash transfers money, they benefited a lot. My ministry will make sure to increase the number of the people that benefit from this program. Lastly, I just want to thank the President of this country, Professor Peter Mutharika, just because of this program.
Doa District Council Principal Social Welfare Officer Ndamiwe Msisia has urged the ministry to increase the number of households due to high level of poverty in the district. Msisia said only 10% of ultra-poor households are currently benefiting from the program.
Normally, when you look at the poverty levels, even how the country defines its poverty levels, it's not only 10% who are ultra-poor, it's a larger percentage. But due to funding limitations, we can only afford to give 10% of the households the social cash transfer program, which means there are other also vulnerable and ultra-poor households who could have benefited if we had that possibility of reaching out to more.
One of the beneficiaries, Kumbizega Jugumba, applauded the government, saying it has enabled her improve her economic well-being.
I am one of the beneficiaries of the social cash transfer program. With the money I have received, I have managed to buy a goat and a pig. I believe that if this program continues, a lot of people will benefit.
Doa District targets to reach out to 19,000 ultra-poor households with the social cash transfer program. Over 16,000 Atrapua households have been registered in the program this far. Madalito Muhango, MBC News, Doha.
Malawi recognizes the role that the Scottish Government plays in spurring development in the country. Chief Secretary in the Office of the President and Cabinet, Justin Saidi, made the remarks in Lilongwe during the 2025 Annual General Meeting of the Malawi-Scotland Partnership. Olive Perry reports.
Established in 2005, the Malawi-Scotland Partnership aims at supporting the coordination of Malawi's link with Scotland, among others. Speaking during the annual general meeting, Chief Secretary in the Office of the President and Cabinet, Justin Saidi, said through the partnership, the Scottish Government has supported Malawi in areas of education and health care, among others, which have made significant difference in the lives of Malawians. Saidi then urged various stakeholders in the country to continue being transparent in project delivery to achieve the intended success.
As government, to request all those organizations that are supported to be transparent and accountable. That's the only way that we will get trust of our party, and they will be able to do quite a number of programs. Because as a country, we have several programs, and those programs need Scotland's support.
Board chairperson of the Malawi-Scotland Partnership, Phoebe Chifungo, said despite the network facing challenges due to climate change, they have still made remarkable achievements.
We have got exchange visits. We have got Scottish students coming to Malawi, and we have got Malawian students going to Scotland. They go there physically, but also exchange of knowledge. You know, there's power in knowledge exchange. So we have this knowledge exchange whereby people connect even online. Scottish people, especially the students, they gain what Malawian students are doing. And the Malawian students are also gaining a lot of experiences from what the students in Scotland are doing.
Speaking in a video address, Scottish First Minister John Sweeney pledged continued support to the partnership. The Malawi-Scotland Partnership has since launched its 2026 to 2030 strategic plan. The annual general meeting was held under the theme 20 Years of Scotland in Malawi, a strategic future for all. Olive Piri, MBC News, Lilongwe.
Government has reconstituted some boards of directors for various parastatal institutions whose tenure had expired. The appointments, which are effective from 4th December 2025, are as follows. Pharmacy and Medicines Regulatory Authority appointed members Ms. Charlotte Misoya, Chairperson, Professor Adamson Mola, Ms. Cecilia Tembo, Mr. Patrick Gwedeza, Dr. Washmota Perry, Dr. Patrick Chikungwa, Mr. Keith Lepato, Mr. Elos Lodzen, and Ms. Ruth Kasaliga. Malawi College of Health Sciences appointed members Andrew Gunda, Chairperson, Reverend Charles, Deputy Chairperson, Martha Makwero, Council Luciano Mikias, Dr. Albert Mafongo, Rose Kalpaizi, Dr. John Mbonda, and Chansi Gamba. Malawi Blood Transfusion Services, Dr. Grace Juwuzu, Chairperson, Dr. Yohani Mlombe, Dr. Precious Makondi, Dr. Mercy Nkandawire, Hilarious Namboja, Sheikh Faizu Kasem, Council Barton Muhango, and Reverend Chumame Mtua. Central Medical Stores Trust, Baluso Panda, Elube Chienda, Dr. Patrick Kamalo, Tadala Hamisi, Vuso Tembo, Dr. Kelita Kamoyo, Dr. Philos Bonongwe, and Happy Makala. Medical Council of Malawi, Dr. Tandi Mabedi, Chairperson, Dr. Kundwani Kawaza, Dr. Agnes Moses, Dr. Jesse Namalika, Dr. Peter Shimimba, Dr. Gladys Kadama, Green Mamondwe, Solomon Chomba, Philip Chilemba, and Silas Nkandawire. Nurses and Midwives Council of Malawi, Dr. Martha Masamba, Chairperson, Harriet Chanzi, Angela Chocha, Professor Chrissy Gabonda, George Nkoma, Munafasi Longwe, Haj Titan, Shouts Smeza, and Dr. Chimwemwe Mula. And now in Parliament has passed a constitutional amendment bill which which establishes the Constituency Development Fund (CDF) as a constitutionally recognized fund. Once the President assents to the amendment, the Ministry of Justice will draft the specific legislation that will govern the administration and management of the fund, which will then be debated and enacted by Parliament. This process is intended to strengthen the legal framework of CDF, enhance transparency, improve oversight, and promote accountability in the management of the fund. Meanwhile, Parliament has referred to Legal Affairs a petition calling for the formulation of parliamentary standing orders that will allow the use of indigenous and sign languages in the House. Member of Parliament for Zomba City North, Besta Awali, delivered the petition he received on 13 November this year from the Center for Democracy and Economic Development Initiatives and Lost History Foundation on the inclusion of indigenous languages and translation facilities alongside the English language in Parliament. Still in the August House, Minister of Education Bright Nsaka has given assurance that government will provide matching funds to all public schools for the smooth operations and administration of examinations. The minister was delivering a ministerial statement regarding free secondary education in the country. Saka also upheld that in the utilization of the 5 billion Kwasha Constituency Development Funds (CDF), education should be a priority to improve equitable access and quality secondary schools in their constituencies using the CDF. He said government intends to increase equitable access and improve quality of education in secondary schools.
This statement has been much awaited by the public. And I don't think that the rolling out is from next year. No, from now. Because I indicated that those that are supposed to be paying for examination, money examinations, IDs, etc., this is the time that normally people are supposed to pay. With immediate effect, government will provide funding to Mandem to ensure that they do not demand those kind of things from students. And this is not just for secondary, it is as well as for primary. So that is one highlight. The next highlight is that from January 1, as stipulated by His Excellency the President, Professor Thabita Mutharika, at one of his statements, from January 1 there will be no fees at secondary education. So if you are at community day secondary school, you walk to school on whatever date the school will open in January without being required to pay any fees of any kind. But because of budgetary arrangements, for those that are at boarding school, we'll budget for them in the forthcoming budget, and by 31st March will be done. Beginning 1st April, no government student at a boarding secondary school will be required to pay boarding fees. And that applies also to those at open secondary schools. So those are the highlights. Secondary school is free.
You're watching MBC News and you are with me, Evelis Chingambi. A reminder of our top stories. Beneficiaries of lean season food distribution exercise urged to report any issues of misconduct that may rise during and after the exercise. Government intends to provide matching funds to all public schools to improve operations. And in sports, the Malawi national youth chess team leaves for Zimbabwe today to compete at the 2025 Africa Youth Chess Championship. Welcome back. Minister of Finance Joseph Mwanamveka has urged communities and some civil society organizations, CSOs, to collaborate with investors working on various developmental projects across the country. His call comes on the sidelines of the recently commissioned integrated cement manufacturing factory in Balaga, where a number of wrangles between CSOs and the investigation firm The investing firm have been reported over safety and occupational hazards as well as resettlement misunderstandings. The minister has since called on the communities and CSOs to engage in dialogue to avoid scaring off these investors. And our business reporter Erlin Chimoyo joins us live to explain more about this developing story. Welcome, Erlin.
Thank you, Evelyn.
Welcome. So, firstly, maybe would you explain the background of the story? What sparked the minister's sentiments?
All right. Listening to the presentations that were made during the event, the issue is the people in the area. Some of them, it is stemming from issues to do with resettlement packages. Others do not understand how best to utilize their packages. So others, when they have finished the money, they will go back to the companies trying to claim back their land. Others trying to demand more money. And for others, it was an issue to do with some accidents that would take place at the plant and in the factory. So others were not really understanding the background to safety and occupational hazards, how things are supposed to go. So others would go there, and others would even engage some CSOs. They would go there trying to protest. So that is one of the issues that the minister was trying to address, and it was also an issue that the member of parliament for the area, that Jifundo Magandi, also raised, and he also appealed to the people in the area to have that coexistence with the investing firm as well as the people that are working there, to ensure that they fully benefit from the plant as well as other economic activities that can be birthed from it.
So maybe one of the issues that you've explained to deal with safety, maybe how did the authorities actually look at that? Have they addressed it?
It has been addressed, and I think one of the key issues that was also there is the accident which involved one of the workers that got trapped in one of the machines. The police were there and other health officials were there to help with whatever happened then. But going around the plant, you'd see that they've put up measures that are supposed to be followed strictly to ensure that no such accidents reoccur, to ensure that it's a very dangerous place if you are not following the safety rules that are supposed to be followed when you're working in such places. But they put in place measures, and they're trying to get the people that are working there to also strictly adhere to the set rules that are there.
All right, now getting back to the misunderstandings, the wrangles that have been developing from this side, maybe what are the implications?
There are quite huge implications of that. First thing that is of concern is an issue that it gives a very bad picture to investors, the existing investors and would-be investors or potential investors. When they look at the operating environment, they would be scared to come and invest. So it is better for people to start understanding that maybe if they engage in dialogue, like the minister said, it will give that picture that, well, people in that country are willing to discuss issues rather than resort into violence or chaos or other things that may push away the investors that we're desperately needing as a country, because we desperately need foreign investors to come into the country so that we can change the economic landscape.
Okay.
So, for this particular issue, this is what the minister had to say when it comes to the concerns that were raised.
All right.
Yeah.
No, I was advising the communities here, the chiefs and the NGOs, that they need to own this company. It's their company. It's a company for all of us as Malawians. There must be a very good relationship with the industry, this Scotland cement, because, as I've said, we are going to benefit. The people of this area are going to benefit out of this investment. There will be businesses that will be created here, employment that has been created. Of course, there will be challenges. there will always be challenges. If indeed there are any differences, I was saying there must be a proper mechanism where people can sit down and resolve their issues, rather than resorting to demonstrations or maybe destroying property here. I think that will not be good. That's what I would say. But also I would want to say that now this is my advice also to Portland Cement. Obviously, we're expecting them to produce enough and stabilize the price. Because that's what we're looking for. We don't want the price of cement to go up. Secondly, we also want to make sure that once they export outside the country, the process should come back to Malawi. That's what we're expecting. They need to bring that foreign exchange back to Malawi.
Now, Erlyn,
Yes.
cement has been an issue in Malawi of late.
Yes.
So maybe how important is it to that particular community, this cement factory, this cement plant that is there in Balaka? Maybe how important is it to that particular community and Malawi as a whole?
It is quite important, considering that every time you have such a development in a particular area, for example, setting up of such a plant, you're talking of booming economic activity. Those that do not think of venturing into the property market, they do have a ready market, because people working there will look for accommodation. Will need accommodation, will need, for example, convenience stores where they can purchase their things, goods and other merchandise. So it means that for them, they will have that, economic empowerment that will be there. And for the country as a whole, we've been facing, challenges when it comes to the availability of cement on the market. It means we have now added to the supply that we have as a country, the capacity that we have as a country. We're not only talking of what Portland Cement produces. Let's also look at the other competitors on the market. We have Shayona, we also have CPL. So we're looking at a bigger capacity in terms of tonnage, which is likely to, it might pull down the prices because we have enough stock. So where there is enough stock, the prices are likely to go down, because it's an issue of
demand and supply.
So it's something that will benefit in terms of, the construction industry and people, not only the bigger projects, but we're also looking at individual projects. People will be able to find the cost of building cheaper. And for us as a country, we're also looking at the issue to do with forex. Forex might be coming in, because we have these investors that are the key partner to Portland, which is a company from China that has partnered with Portland, that will help in bringing in that much needed forex. And we're also cutting on the amount of forex that we need to import, because the coming in of the clinker manufacturing aspect in this factory will help us cut costs in as far as the amount of clinker that we import to produce cement in the country.
All right. Thank you so much. I would have awarded you more time, but we have to move. Thank you so much for joining us today, Erlyn.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you. So that is Erlyn Chimoyo, our business reporter here at MSC. And now moving on to our next item, Malawi's public debt burden stood at 4 trillion kwacha in 2020, and 5 years later, under the Lazarus Chakwera administration, the debt burden widened 5 times to 21.6 trillion kwacha. This development has raised the interest payment from 250 billion kwacha to 2.3 trillion kwacha per year. Our reporter Trust Office analyzes the impact of this debt burden.
The theme of the DPP campaign leading to the current administration was to deal with economic challenges the country has been facing, key among them being the fuel and forex crisis, the food shortages, as well as high rates of inflation. Despite setting the tone to address the challenges, Malawi's high public debt remains a stumbling block to Malawi's economic recovery efforts, as well as the implementation of the 2025-2026 national budget. This is a concern that even President Professor Arthur Bita Mutharika shared with the delegation of the International Monetary Fund.
We are heavily indebted, both with private and also official institutions, heavily indebted, and we have to restructure them. At the moment, all the revenue we get actually going into debt servicing, and to keep borrowing more and more, just our day-to-day affairs of government of state.
According to the 2024 African Development Bank Country Report, Malawi needs to address the debt burden with an immediate debt restructuring process. The report highlights that the prevailing trends may cripple Malawi's efforts to finance its development due to high interest payments and a widening budget deficit. Finance Minister Joseph Mwanaveka is however hopeful that ongoing negotiations to restructure debt as well as new revenue measures through the introduction of several taxes may help restore stability.
Or the revenue measures that we have put in the budget, I think the aim is that we should mobilize as much as possible so that we reduce the gap between our expenditure as well as the revenue. And when we reduce the gap or the deficit, and it means we are now moving towards sustainability. So I think that's what we want to achieve going forward.
While commending government for the steps it has taken to restore macroeconomic stability, the Malawi Economic Justice Network, MEGIN, stresses that enforcing a ban on the exportation of raw minerals will help the country raise its revenue, which is key in reducing the budget deficit.
This government came in with a bang in a way, because what they did really was to ban any exportation of be it raw materials or finished product in terms of mining extractives. That's a good step for starters. But we need then to appreciate, is it really true that samples are not going out? That's another thing. Have we put clear-cut enforcement mechanisms that we would be able to say we are able to trace who are the miners that are there, who are the companies that are operating in mining sector?
Minister of Natural Resources, Energy and Mining, Jean Matanga, discloses that government will start enforcing the ban on the exportation of raw minerals once adequate civic education and several steps are taken to bring all concerned parties on board.
Once we do that, we provide the market, we put them into cooperatives, we reach out to them with messages that should stop them from being exploited by foreign traders.
Resolving the forex and the public debt crisis may not be an overnight task. It needs the collective efforts of the citizenry in paying taxes, quick action on the part of government to restructure debt, as well as transparent and efficient utilization of Malawi's mineral riches to boost revenues critical for debt repayment, as well as budget implementation. Trust Office, MBC News, Lilongwe.
And now in sports, the Malawi National Youth Chess Team has left for Zimbabwe today to compete at the 2025 Africa Youth Chess Championship. Team Malawi comprises 16 players for the tournament, which will run from 7 to 13 December in the capital Harare. Yesterday, the team got a sponsorship boost of 12.4 million kwacha from National Bank. The bank's Chief Information Security Officer, Beston Kasoloka, made the check presentation to Chess Association of Malawi General Secretary Gift Hoahoa.
We are supporting the chess because we believe it cultivates strategic thinking, and it offers these young minds a way to bring leadership, a special leadership that guides the entire country, because for a country to move we need strategic minds. And us supporting the young children, we believe that such strategies will not only be applied on the board but applied across. Our expectation is that these young minds will bring medals, as I've said, and these medals will be a symbol for Malawi to building strategic powers that will not only be for the chase but for the country, that might boost economy.
We are proud because we are exposing the young ones who did well at the national level. We are exposing them so that they can also be able to showcase their talent at the Africa level and global level. We are also happy because, you know, even the process of grooming these young ones to be where they are has not been done by Chesam alone. We work hand in hand with our own academies. So it means that the fruits are showing from the academies like Dada's Academy, who have groomed some of the young ones that are going there. We are seeing that the fruits are now coming. So we wait for the results of the tournaments. After the 14th, we should be able to see how our kids will perform. And I think that is a better yardstick for us to see the strength of our athletes. And the future is in these young ones.
And that's it from our newsroom this afternoon. You were with me, Evelis Chingambe. Thanks for watching and good afternoon.
What's your name? Gary, huh? It's my game.
We put everything into this. Those that can do it and succeed, how to fix it.
This city has been
just a cookbook. It's part of being hit here with the latest global news and insightful documentary. Transition. Understanding the
But if you ask them know me. I know they blow trees, only know me.
Everyone dreams of a space where their business can shine. The Grand Business Park in Area 46, Lilongwe, is the heart of the action. Perfect for retail, corporate,